Hey, what's up gamers? I'm Bianca.
And I'm James.
We're a husband and wife board gaming duo called the Tricktakers. And today we have our personal recommendations for gifts for gamers.
If you're struggling to find that last minute holiday gift for that gamer friend or family member of yours, then we're here to help.
Let's get started. So the first gift item is kind of on the smaller side, but super important and very helpful. It's little containers for holding different game components. Now this is one option. This is something that we purchased at our local game store, and it has a lid. So you can actually use these instead of Ziploc bags to store your components. This is just an extra one that we have, just in case we need it for anything. But yeah, these are great, super handy, and you can just have as many on hand as you need, and then you can just take them out whenever you're gonna play a game, and it's great. And then we also have another option here.
We have basically the same thing, but a 4-part container. This is great for games like Everdell or Dune, where there's a lot of resources in like a shared market space, and you just want to have them all nicely laid out instead of kind of just on the table floating around. So this is another great thing we got from a local game store around.
Yeah, it's a little fancier than the little plastic ones because this one's actually made out of wood. I think it might be handcrafted,
Yeah.
but
so it's got a nice table presence too.
Yeah, and you can find these online. You can find them probably in your local game store. We got these from our friendly local game store. Shout out to Geeky Tees. Love you guys. But yeah, we highly recommend these. These are great stocking stuffers potentially. So yep, that's number one.
Yep. For our next gift idea, we have box inserts. We don't have any in front of us to show you, but it's on our wish list for some of our favorite games. Not every game can be like Parks, where everything is just super organized within the box. So box inserts can be a great upgrade to be able to, put things together in the box fast and take them out fast. Instead of having 1,000 Ziploc bags within them, like say Wingspan or some other games that are just kind of messy and disorganized, you get everything nicely laid out. They can be 3D printed, or people on Etsy will sell them, or other online shops, but great gift idea for other board gamers.
Yes, I love a good box insert. We unfortunately have not purchased any box inserts specifically, but whenever there's a good box insert, I'm always clear to point that out in our game reviews, so definitely a good gift idea. Up next, we have game upgrades. These can be things like decals, hand-painted meeples, or just general components that improve the overall experience of playing the game. So we've done a lot of videos about upgrades. A lot of these involve some decals. I've gotten new meeples and like egg upgrades, for instance, from Wingspan. And yeah, there's just a lot of different options out there. If you scour the internet, especially Etsy, there's a ton of options. So you just kind of have to have an idea of what games your friend has in their collection so that you know what upgrades to get them.
But these can vastly improve the experience of playing a game. Like with Wingspan, we have a new dice tower, and with other games, just putting a little decal on a meeple just can make it so much more fun to bring out that game.
Yeah, and I'll put some links to our upgrade videos, some of the upgrades that we've reviewed, in the description below, so you can check those out.
Up next, we have playmats. Now these can come in multiple sizes. They can be individual playmats that go in front of you, or playmats that cover the whole table. Coming from a Magic background, people used to bring these to tournaments and other things all the time, and just kind of brings out like this artistic side where you can put a nice playmat in front of you, you can play your cards or other things on top of it. It can have a nice texture for it, and say you're playing outside, you can put it on top of a picnic table or some other area and just kind of improve the overall experience, cleanliness, and other things when you're playing your favorite board games.
Yeah, and these come in all different sizes too, so you could get one that perfectly fits your table at home. And it's also good to protect your table, like if you're rolling dice or something and you don't want to like ding your nice wooden table, it'll protect your table. It makes it easier to pick up cards, and you can get all sorts of different artwork on them. So yeah, these are usually available at your friendly local game store. Or I'm sure you can also find them online. We don't have one to show you. We have a game table, so we haven't had the need to get a topper, but they're super nice from what we've seen, and they could make the perfect gift for your friend. The next item on our list is actually something that's on my personal wish list this year for Christmas, and that is a board game bag. For the past couple years, we've been using a tote, which, I mean, it served its purpose, but it doesn't really do that great of a job of protecting the games from getting scratched or dinged or anything. And it also just kind of feels a little bit like carrying a big, heavy bag of groceries. So I really want something a little nicer, and there's so many options out there.
And they come in all kinds of different sizes too, so if you just want a game that fits maybe like 2 decent sized medium games, you can get that. If you want one that fits like 8 and you got a whole weekend plans, then you can do that as well. So
yep.
Next up, if you know someone loves a board game, then why not check out if there's a board game expansion for it. As you can tell, we have a lot of board game expansions for some of our favorite games like Wingspan, Small World, Clank, and all these games just basically bring upgrades to the original game, or they add extra functionality that just adds whole other components and experience to the gameplay.
Yeah, for this you might want to double check with their collection and make sure that, you know, they don't already have that expansion. So this is a gift that is good if you're familiar with your friend's collection already. Up next, it's board game artwork, and I'm talking about posters that are based on different board games, and these are really cool. I've seen them in the Board Game Geek store. I've also seen them on Etsy. There's a lot of different artists that do posters that just reflect different games, and it's kind of their own interpretation of what that game is. So if there's a specific game that your friend really, really loves, then that would be the perfect gift for them.
And if they're not into artwork, there's all kinds of other accessories that have different pictures and other things from board games on them, like shirts, coasters, and mugs. So really, you can find anything out there for that special person.
Yes, check Etsy. I've seen meeples on all sorts of things out there, and it's really cool. The next item on our list is puzzles. If you have a friend who likes really puzzly games, then they probably also like actual puzzles. Here are some that have been gifted to us over the years. We kind of prefer the ones that have at least 1,000 pieces. These have 750, which is a good number too, but you can kind of challenge your friend based on, you know, how much of a challenge they usually like.
Can't have gamers over for every night, so in the filler nights, you got puzzles.
Yeah, these are a great activity to do solo.
Next up, you can't always meet in person, so sometimes you gotta meet online, and with a Board Game Arena membership, you can do that. For just $30 for the whole year, you can play with people online all over the world. You can play with your friends. We love playing with our friends from the East Coast. And you can host any game you want, basically, that's on that site. There's tons of games that are getting added every month, and basically anything you probably want to find, you can get on there.
Yeah, they have a lot of great games on there. They have The Crew, Viticulture, Lost Ruins of Arnak. Those are some of my favorites. They even have King of Tokyo.
Yeah, Patchwork was put on there. Just all kinds of games. They get licensed to put on there, and it's developers who create these.
Yes, and all of the games are very high quality. The user interface is super slick. I just love it. Can't recommend Board Game Arena more. Next on our list is tickets to a board game convention. Now, this is kind of a nicer gift, so make sure you know what conventions your friends have already bought tickets for. But yeah, board game conventions are super fun, and any gamer will enjoy that.
Think of like a comic book convention, but where every single booth is filled with a different board game. Things that are in beta testing, things that have just been released, all kinds of different games, and you get to play them throughout the day. You get to talk to the designers, and then PAX Unplugged, which we're going to in a week, is there's a free play area at the end of the day too. So all the games that you bought during the day, you can play at night. You can play with friends and other people who go there. So it's a great experience. We definitely recommend it. If you want to up the stakes a little bit, it's a little more pricey, but we definitely recommend a board game table. Now, this is something that's going to require a little bit more planning, or maybe it's just a gift for yourself or your significant other. But ever since we got our board game table about a year ago, there's just no looking back. We love using it every time we have people over, and it's just such a great experience when you have a board game night to have a board game table that has the felt, that has linings and other things that really greatly improve the experience. But since there's so much planning and other things involved, you would need to know the specifications of the room that's going in and a lot of other things. So take this with a grain of salt, but it's a great thing to have.
Yeah, just do your homework. So the next gift idea on our list is actually more of an experience than an actual item, but I think this would make a great date night or, just a fun activity to do. So if you're looking for a cool birthday date or holiday date or whatever, I would recommend going to a game cafe. If you go to a game cafe, basically how it works usually is they have food and drinks and all that. They have a huge game library and you can check out games and play them all day long. There's not usually a limit, but sometimes there is. You have to check with a specific cafe, but it's always a good time.
And you can try new games instead of, sometimes board games are expensive. So instead of just buying it straight out, you can play the game first. You can see if, you love it or you hate it, and then try a different game and do the same. And, maybe you don't know that specific game that person likes, but it's a great way to just try out a whole bunch of different games.
Yeah, I think we once spent like 6 or 8 hours in a board game cafe. We played like 3 or 4 different games and it was such a fun day. I just highly recommend it.
Yeah. Last but not least, this might be kind of obvious, but what else to get a board gamer but another board game? If you know a specific game that they love, you can get that, but if you're not sure, if you know anything about their past games or what specific style of games they like, you can head to your local game store and ask the people there for some advice and recommendations about what board games to get.
Yeah, they're usually super knowledgeable. And if you're still really stumped, then you can always just get them a gift certificate for that local game store that they love going to. Well, that's a wrap for our 2021 Gamer Gift Guide. We hope you found this video helpful and good luck finishing your holiday shopping. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like.
We put out new videos every other Thursday, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified when our next video drops.
That's it for now. See you next time. Trick Takers, out.